Yes, hi all, welcome back to part 3, the final part of this trilogy of Johnny's Mag replica upgrades. So this morning, first thing, I just glued this up, and obviously had multiple bits of tape on it, just hold it into place using the Gorilla contact adhesive, which is really good stuff, and it dries clear, so it's really nice. You don't get any overspread of glue around here. So that's really good. What I'll do is I'll go around, once I remove the tape, I'll go around the edges and make sure that I don't need to add additional glue in. If I do, then I'll potentially use more Gorilla or more of the normal 60-second glue, which I can sort of insert underneath sort of very carefully. So that's potentially good for those two pieces. I'm then going to glue down these panels here again using the special glue for that. So that should, and then I can form those up and then clamp them in place with two of these for each shoe. So I always use this particular one because they're nice, and I basically brought them just for these shoes to keep them all completely mint so they don't mark or anything. So then I can let those sort of glue over the next few hours, and then I'm going to make my little insert just here, and then that's where the end of the Swoosh logo goes in. And then I always run the Swoosh logo on these, always run along the top here, that way it covers up any glue from the original shoe that you can basically potentially see. So it runs nicely down here and then swishes up sort of here somewhere using the 2mm foam swishes that I basically cut out by hand. Cool, and there we go. Right, so that's done. And the straps as well, those are done. I let those dry and hang overnight, so I'm pleased with those. So again, they're the best I can do with, you know, how straight and how good the straps are in the first place, but they're inserted absolutely literally as best as I can manage for those ones. So I'm pleased with those as well, and that's how they look on there with the little slit and the cable coming out the back. Right, let me get those glued in place. Cool. Right then, yeah, so I've just applied the contact adhesive clear. This is really good stuff. Just a point to note on these ones here, obviously these are size 8, yeah. The panel's so bloody close to the end. I've obviously had to put a line of glue over the end of over the very end of the panel. So it'll be interesting to see once it's dried if that's particularly noticeable or not. Obviously, I don't want to put no glue there, otherwise I might, you know, have an issue with the panel sort of coming off slightly, and I don't want to put the other type of glue on the panel because I know that will definitely mark the panel. So hopefully this is good. Otherwise, I'll put it on there. I'm gonna leave it for a couple of minutes on both of them, and then push them together. Cool. Right, yeah, there we go. Clamped up just on the very edge. Obviously, you can clamp them anywhere you want to clamp, but I find that these parts here always seem to glue nicely and quite easily. But of course, if they're going to lift, they always lift on the edges here. And you do find that normally this back corner here, the panel isn't designed to fit absolutely perfectly. You have to literally sort of manipulate it into place. Otherwise, it sort of pushes up here somewhere. So that corner there is always a problem, but the rest of it here is a case of just pushing on, holding it in place. Yeah, and basically a big shout out here, see, to EL Wirecrafts. Even through those layers of tape, those lights look ridiculously good. And yeah, same for that side there. Loving that. So, and of course, benefit as well of this clear glue is obviously the fact that it dries clear, but anything that does come out of the gap, you can also then, when it's dry, rub it over your thumb, and you can basically just rub away any sort of excess glue like that as well. So it kind of, I feel, gives you the sort of safest way of finishing the shoes. Other glues, you do risk it sort of seeping around and going onto the panel, which you obviously don't want. But yes, that's what you want, I reckon. And there we go. Right, let me quickly connect up the straps and just see how it looks. Right then, yeah, there we go. So there's a quick mock-up there, and looking really nice. So we've got the EL panels in the heel. Big shout out to EL Wirecraft for those, plus these as well. Now I don't know if these coming across well on the camera, but to my naked eye, these are so sharp and clear. Whereas on my camera, it looks like it's a bit more of a blurry light, but that's just the camera. They're like dead clean on there. And now obviously these panels here are flat. You know, when you actually put them on, you wear them, you have your trousers on and all that sort of stuff, it's much less noticeable. But of course, the panels do take up a lot of that, and obviously the panels are basically rigid. You know, you could potentially, you know, get in there and bend it and maybe put some heat on there and try and bend it to sort of shape. You might be able to, but this is just a sort of small downside of using the cheap option. You know, it's a bit bit flatter. If you obviously spend the money and get the Air Mag King ones, they're much thinner panels and they are obviously more curved to the strap. So, you know, it's just one of those things, but those will look really good. And so you could potentially bend them, and if randomly it breaks, no mega drama, you know, you have to replace the panels if they... Right, yeah, pretty sure what I mean about inserting the swoosh in the end. So what I do literally is knife, cut a small slit just in the end there, and then I then put a small amount of this glue here in. Whoops. And then I just get the swoosh, using the, you can use whatever you want to use, but obviously do these and you can do a neat job. Use some of those, insert it in there, just push it in, you know, push it in there, where however far it goes, you know, about 5mm or whatever. Then you can get the swoosh, and then you can then effectively, you can then pull it tight. Once it's obviously slightly glued in there, you can then pull it nice and tight, and that way you can get the thing, you know, sitting just right and sort of nice and sort of flat and straight and taut and all the rest of it on there, to whatever angle you want to put it. Normally I put mine just so the tip is just touching this section just there. That way I get maximum amount of glue on here, so it sort of keeps it all in place. Basically, so that's my sort of technique. Right, let me apply the usual clear glue. Be careful if you use this glue here on the fabric here, because if you get it on here and you sort of misplace any glue on there or this thing moves, you will have black glue marks on there. That's why I recommend trying out this glue here. Right, yep, hi all, so welcome. So yep, I've glued the swooshes on using the clear glue. All good, all in place. And then what I do is I then put an additional bit of tape just to hold it on in certain places. So you want to put some additional tape on, say just this on this sort of nose here, and a bit here where you want the white part to be sort of a bit more in the groove. Otherwise, obviously, it'll lay flat. So I want it in there a little bit, you know, and certainly I want that piece there flat as well. So yeah, a little bit of tape on there, and had another quick look at the glue on here, and then just move the clamp sections down here, because you find, like I mentioned, this part here tends to peel open. Even though it's taped, it still just sort of lifts off. The tape isn't strong enough to hold it, so a couple of little clamps on there. This bit here all looks good on the, but no drama. Anything that peels up, you know, you can just adjust it later. Same this one here. This corner here was peeling up here. That all there seemed really good. That all seems sweet. And say put some additional glue underneath there, and a tiny little bit underneath there as well. And again, if you use the clear glue, you can then sort of put it on, and if you get any overspray on the grey, you can basically lift it off using some tweezers. So it's pretty handy. I need to put a bit more additional glue underneath here, but really I'm going to do that tomorrow once I can turn the shoe over and get in there, because obviously you need to do these things bloody carefully, you know. So yeah, otherwise I'm generally very happy. Right then, yes, I also, yeah, next up obviously is the letters. So what I do with letters, got in here some almost boiling water, obviously tweezers and the shoes. So what I do literally is I don't need to do anything with those ones other than later cut the letters in pieces, and then just go around the edge with a sharp blade just to sort of neaten up the edges on those. That's fine. Otherwise those don't need warming up. In here, like I mentioned, is almost boiling water. So all I do basically is place, I'm not doing it right now on video because I want to make sure I do it properly, because I've only got one set. But basically I just put that in the water. I'll put it in for, say, you know, literally 10 seconds, say, then take it out and then check with my finger and see how bendable and pliable it is. If it's not pliable enough, then I'll put it in for a bit longer. And once it basically feels it is just bendy, just pliable, I will then obviously transfer it. Obviously at that point it won't be too hot. I put it onto the shoe and then basically just form it to the shoe by just bending it all the different angles, you know, and just shaping it to the back here. And then obviously it will, you know, within another sort of 10 seconds, it would have gone hard again to take off, leave it there, and obviously it'll be nice and curved. Do the same for all your letters, put them all in the rough positions on here and let it cool down. And then once it's cool, obviously I'll just pat it dry, and then basically, mask up the shoe here to the correct positions, and then ultimately glue them on. Right, let me crack on with that. Right, and yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, you can now see the letters are now curved to the shoe. So yeah, all I'm gonna do now is literally dry them all off and say mask up the shoe, and then I can apply these and I'll quickly neat up those as well, stick them all on. Happy days. Right, let me get on with that and get those babies on. Cool. Right, and yeah, that's that done. So yeah, I've obviously just modelled it on my pair, just to make sure I get them, you know, as close as I can to being central. But yeah, they look really, really good. So yeah, I've just put additional layer of tape on there, just so overnight, you know, it can just pull them in, you know, a little bit more curved, etc. on there and there, make it stick nice and firm. And then tomorrow I can remove the tape and then use the relevant nail polish, which I think is this one here for this particular colour of speckles. My one's got the different type of paint on it, so it's a lighter colour, but I'm pretty sure that's the one there that's the correct colour for these. Right, yeah, morning all. Yeah, lettuce look really good, stuck on nice and firm. So technique now is just basically to paint the mags in whatever colour you want to use. This colour here, say, matches the speckles on there. I don't normally paint the Nike letters, but of course you could do as well. And then I go around and just detail it and remove any extra masking tape, like a little bit just there. Any glue, that kind of thing. Cool. Right, yes, hi all. So yeah, the shoes are now done. So yeah, Johnny, you'll be getting these shoes back next week, and I think they look amazing. And again, it's, as always, it's always the best I can do with what I'm sent, you know, and I think they look fabulous. You know, I've gone around, detailed them, and like I say to everyone, you know, these are completely hand modified, you know, on shoes which aren't meant to be taken apart. So I've put them back together as, you know, as best as I possibly can. Added the additional speckles on here as well. Got the mags in the same colour as the speckles. So we've got the EL lights on here, along with the Air Mag King bubbles. We've got the EL Wirecraft panels in here, laid completely flat from one end to one end. That way there's absolutely minimal chance that the panel here, which is the only area really that could be classified as a weak point, could break. So it's completely straight through and sort of fed round, folded neatly. So it should be, you know, honestly reliable, wearable, same as my pair. We've got the EL Wirecraft as well, Nike's inserted there, and again I've cut them neat, super neat. Bear in mind the straps, you know, are never perfect on these, and inserted them from the back. They look really crisp, you know, as dead center as I can get them. Shoes themselves are really good. Got the handmade, hand cut swooshes on there. These are never perfect, and there's a tiny little mark just there, you know, but otherwise I would say that's really nice. Bear in mind they're completely hand cut, and obviously applied using a couple of types of glue as well to get them to stick properly. But they look wonderful, and again they're in the best position there to cover up, you know, the joints here from peeling it open. So that's the technique for those. Straps, obviously, so these pieces here, the tongues, they're in mint condition, so I always fold those down underneath there. You've got the inner sort of cardboard sole, which of course is re-glued down, along with the rubber spacer that I insert where the old electronics come out of. And then again the wiring is nice and neat as it can be underneath there. You can probably open up the little access hole if you wanted to and have a look, but obviously the rest of it's glued down. And then you've got the thick normal insole in there as well, so they should be, like, you know, comfortable as it can be. The wiring connector, you know, I poked up around like this area here somewhere, so you shouldn't feel it when it's on. We've got the 3D printed letters at the back, which I've again put one coat of nail polish on them, which matches the speckles. So again, they look really good on there as well. And these are unpainted there, because I tend to find they just look best if you start painting them. You get it in the gaps and stuff here, the tiny little gaps, so it's best, I feel, just to put it down. But again, I've put them on as best as I can, straight as I can. And there we go, there's the shoes. Amazing. So I hope everyone found those interesting, and they're way better than the LEDs we took out, you know, and the remote control that came with this particular AliExpress version. Cool. And here's my power unit as well that I always choose. And again, you can choose multiple different size power units, but that tucks neatly into the user's sock as well, should they want to wear them. You can disconnect it, swap batteries out, have it on display, it lasts all day. You've got flash mode and strobe. So anyway, a lot of effort, but well worth it. Cool, thanks all, cheers.